Good luck, friend.
Here we go. Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Oh, my buds. Hey, Ruth. Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Oh, wonderful. Hey, Arlene. How's it going? Oh, yay. This is my favorite part. So, hi, everybody. Please feel free to turn your cameras on if you'd like. We like to see each other's
Hello.
faces. How are you, Sean?
Good.
Yeah. What's new?
I fixed my piccolo, so I'm gonna figure out how to play that thing again.
Hey, that's nice. Love it. Awesome. What was wrong with it?
Well, I lost it when I moved into this house, and I found it during the pandemic, and all the pads were gone, so it needed
Oh,
TLC.
there you go. Very good. We've got Cheryl, Myra, Carly's joining. I'm going to give everybody just a couple of minutes to join. We had a lot of people sign up, but as always, lots of people sign up. Not everybody comes. Hi, Carly. Cool. Some new faces. I love it. Carly, where are you from?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Nice. Awesome. Good to see you here. All right. Okay, let's just go ahead and jump in. So, first, a little announcement for everybody who's here, and for those of you who were at the Piccolo class earlier today, you probably already know this. At the end of the class, we're going to give a discount code for 20% off and free shipping for all of the sheet music from Flute World and Valentino piccolo wands as well. So stay until the end and I will give you a special Flute World Collective discount code for sheet music and those awesome piccolo wands. How many of you have seen those or used those or have them? They're awesome. Yeah, they're like super great. So anyway, there's the little plug. And thanks again, as always, to Flute World for hosting these. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be able to hang out with you guys on a Saturday afternoon. So today we are keeping on the Boehm train. I finally updated the banner, Sean, after like 3 weeks. Did you notice that?
I noticed. I saw that update go through. I'm like,
Oh, okay,
Katie's back.
cool. Just 3 weeks late. It's fine. So for those of you who have not been to one of these classes before, I love having these classes be very, very open for everyone to participate and to be involved. Hi, Erin. Oh, she was there for 1 second. Sunflowers. So if anyone has any comments or questions or would like to play or anything like that, please feel free at any time to interrupt me, raise your hand, unmute yourself, whatever you'd like to do. It's really important to me that this feels like a very open community. Oh, Erin says her little one playing with the filters. That's so sweet. Oh my gosh, hold on. Please hold. Cool, my dog just starts howling right in the... How about you don't bark when I'm teaching? That'd be cool. Thanks a lot. Okay, so Boehm Caprices. I'm actually very grateful that this class landed on number 6 and not number 5. So I don't know who else feels the same way about all those trills, but I, not so sad about not having to do that one. So we have a few people who are signed up to play. Ruth, you're up on there. I have Mimi, Diana, and Deborah, and I don't know if any of the others are here. Oh, Mimi's here. Cool. I don't see Diana or Deborah, but we'll see how it goes. So the way I like to run this is we will let everybody play. Ruth, did you want to play number 6 or did you have another one you want to play?
I'll play 6, but I got to play before, so if others want to go first.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Mimi, are you here?
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, awesome.
Hi.
Mimi, would you like to play? Oh, there she is. Hi.
Hi. I'm first year.
Awesome. Do you want to play one of the Caprices today, Mimi?
Not today.
No, okay, you don't have to. No pressure. If anybody else wants to play, please just let me know. Otherwise, I always have plenty to talk about. I'm very good at talking, so it'll be fine. Wonderful. So, Ruth, why don't we just go ahead and get started with you? And then we'll just kind of see how it goes. We'll get into whatever we get into. So. Oh, she's getting it on piccolo. You're muted though, Ruth. Go ahead and unmute yourself. It's a piccolo day today.
It's Piccolo month. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
totally.
have to tell you, my husband ran into the room where I was practicing. Now, granted, it was a medical piccolo, and he said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" He thought an alarm went off.
Oh my God. I love it. Oh, that's
Same
awesome.
thing when he heard me sing for the first time. He thought I got hurt in the shower.
Are you okay?
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
at least he cares, right?
Not for the piccolo.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm going to share this. Can everybody see this screen here?
Oh, wow. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look at the screen. Okay.
Yep, if you want to. Use your music or the screen, whatever you prefer.
Where did it go to? Where was I? There? Okay.
He's running out of steam.
She is. Nice, Ruth. Woo! Good work, girl.
Nice pedaling.
Yeah, that's quite a stamina building thing, isn't it? you know? So tell me how you feel. What were some of the things that you really like about it? What were some of your challenges?
I like the roller coaster effect of the piece. I think it's really a nice range for the piccolo.
Absolutely.
But it should probably go faster than I was doing it, and I don't have it faster yet.
That's okay. It's not a race, so don't worry.
But I felt the urge to stick a lot of trills in it, and that could have been because of number 5.
We're just still feeling trills from number 5. Yeah, totally.
And the cool thing about this is you get to use the C sharp, half whole C sharp.
Oh, that's what you were doing. I was wondering what was going on there.
Not particularly in tune, but it goes fast.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so I love this etude. I think that it's so fun. So many of these Boehm ones, except for number 5, are just very innately musical. Like, it's kind of hard not to make them sound good if you play the right notes and the right rhythms, So, so what do you think, as with all etudes, right? We always have a purpose behind them. What do you think are some of the focuses of this one? This is not just for Ruth. This is for everybody, by the way, if anyone has any thoughts.
Articulation.
Articulation, girl. Nailed it. Number 1, absolutely. Articulation. And of course, it's a presto, right? So you can use it as a technical sort of speed exercise as well. But I think articulation is absolutely key. Totally, because it's staccato the whole time, pretty much. We've got a little bit of slurs. He gives us a little bit of break down there, just a little one. So I'd love to get into some articulation exercises here. So if you all have your flutes, go ahead and get them out. We're going to do some playing together. I don't think we've ever done this in one of these classes before. And I think it'll be fun. Everybody will be muted, don't worry, because otherwise it'll sound like something crazy. So if you have your flutes, get them. If not, no worries. You're welcome to just follow along. Okay, so I think everybody's muted here. My dog is like, I don't know what his problem is today, but if he starts howling, then he's just a part of the song, I guess. Okay, so let me share my screen here. Da-da-da. Okay, here we go. So we're just going to do this first phrase, and I want to just give us a few different ways to think about practicing articulation. You can do this on piccolo, you can do it on flute, whatever. Let me get this out of the way there. Okay, let me make sure, actually. Hold on. Original sound.
Does he want you to continue the staccato through the piece? Because I never know what that means.
Yeah, I think
he does.
So.
He was just lazy and didn't want to mark it in.
Yeah, I think whatever edition this was, many of them are just lazy. That's what I think. If anybody has a different opinion,
this one.
So. Oh, okay. Yep, I've got the one that was from IMSLP, the free download one. Right. So, yes, I don't think it would make sense. Well, I mean, because he does mark some staccatos later, too. So, honestly, I think you should just do it whatever feels good to you. But how's that answer? But let's practice it a couple of different ways. Okay, we'll do it once, assuming that everything is supposed to be staccato, and then we can try it with something a little more connected after that as well. So one of my favorite ways to get ourselves prepared for playing staccato playing, for playing short, is actually practicing it with no tongue at all. How many of you have done articulation exercises like this before? How many of you have never heard of this before at all? Everybody has. Everyone's a pro here, so it's cool. Good. So hi, Jessica and Yvonne. Just so you know, we're about to play some exercises together. So if you have your flutes, feel free to get them out. If not, no worries. Okay, so let's do this. Da, 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 da. All right. So we're not going to go fast here. This is not a race. But we are going to go through and use a ha articulation. So the key here is that we really are engaged with our core and the airspeed moving right away. And that you have a general understanding. Oh my gosh, people are coming in and out. We have a general understanding of where you want to place your embouchure for each of these notes. There's a little bit of a challenge in this etude also because so much of it is in that sort of middle range, low to middle range, which is very crackable, right? So this ha articulation really helps to make sure, number one, that your air is moving, and number two, that we have our embouchures in the right place for all of this middle register, middle range stuff. A lot of times I've noticed with people, there are issues with articulation because we tend to use the tongue as a way to get your air moving, right? It's kind of like one of the ways we can cheat when you have articulated things is that when we go ta, the air moves faster, but then you're not actually using the support to back it up. So this ha articulation really helps to make sure the air is engaged first. And then the tongue is just like a little thing flapping around in our mouths, a little accessory, but it's not actually the thing that's causing the air to move, if that makes sense. All right, should we do it? Should I just shut my mouth now? Jeez. Okay, here we go. So we're going to go nice and slow. Da, ha, 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 ha. Play along with me if you can. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? How does that feel? I'm like, oh, someone needs to do some more sit-ups over here. Me. But you should kind of feel your abs engaging when you do this way. So let's do it again and go a little bit slower. And also pay attention to which notes feel really solid, which notes tend to crack a little bit. Feel free to be playing this at your own pace if you want to as well. You don't have to follow me. I'm just kind of giving an example. So let's do it again from the top. A little slower. Da, ha, 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 ha. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, cool. Did anyone notice anything when you did this? Does anybody have any thoughts or feelings about trying this out? No, you don't have to.
No thoughts or feelings? No, this is good target practice, right? Especially when you get around that middle E that just loves to crack.
Doesn't it though? Yeah. And really thinking about, hey, what vowel sound am I making when I'm playing that middle E? Mine is kind of like a ooh, I think a little more forward and round, you know. But it's this feeling, and there's a way that practicing this really helps you get the feel for where your embouchure needs to be. It is also fantastic to do this kind of articulation with Taffanel and Gobert number 4. Because you get through the whole range. So if you did one key from Taffanel and Gobert number 4 a day doing this, it's so helpful for getting in shape and making sure your air is moving and that you stay open. Jeez. Another point to this is that if you can watch yourself in a mirror, I'm going to try to get up close to my camera here. What we don't want is this. I'm totally exaggerating, but we don't need your mouth moving all of the time or for you to be taking breaths in between every single note. This is a very, very, very good exercise for making sure that your embouchure stays pretty stable too, not too much movement. So instead, I can't see the music because I'm doing this, so forgive me. I'm going to do T and G instead. Right? So we try to kind of keep it. We're not little fishies, like we don't need to be biting at things the whole time. So that's a really helpful thing to pay attention to. Now, let's play it again. And this time we're going to add the tongue. But instead of thinking of the tongue as going ta, 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 think of it as just kind of touching the tip of your mouth and coming away. Ta, 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 ta. This really helps to keep things light. It's also, again, reinforcing that we're not using the tongue to get the airstream moving at the beginning of the notes. That's the cheater's way and is not setting you up for success later on, right? So let's share the screen again. Now, this is just for single tonguing. We're going to get into double tonguing in just a little bit. Ruth, you single tongued it, right? Yeah, cool. So where is my little thing here? Here we go. All right, so we're going to do this again, and we'll go ahead and take the repeat. We won't go too fast, but this time add the tongue with the same feeling. Actually, I have a different idea. First repeat, only do ha's. Second repeat, add the tongue with the same sort of feeling as you do when you do the ha's. Okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So this is not reasonable to do if you're playing it. Right, you can't go, ha, 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 ha. It's like not gonna work. But just in general, this is a really good exercise to just make sure you're engaging in your core. Okay, now let's try something a little bit different. So I want to actually talk a little bit more about just articulation, general articulation practices, and then we'll get back to the fun etude thing. Articulation is interesting because, in my opinion, it's the one thing that is like not riding a bike at all. Not the one thing, there are many, right? But articulation is a thing that you have to actually maintain. Right? If you have a really fast tongue and articulation's going really, really well, and then you don't actually practice it for, 5 months or 5 weeks or whatever, it does deteriorate. So it's important because the tongue is a muscle to keep that muscle working, right? I think articulation is sort of like the weightlifting of flute playing. You can't just show up and, lift however many pounds is a lot to lift. I don't lift weights, so I couldn't tell you. But, you can't just show up, lift something that's too heavy for you. It doesn't work, right?
Agree. It's the first thing to go.
It's the first thing to go. Exactly. Yes. And it's always so important to have your air supporting the tongue, right? It's kind of, that's rule number 1. But for practicing articulation, I think that, how many of you, does anybody here not know about Taffanel and Gobert? It's totally fine. There's no judgment. Everybody's cool with it? Okay, awesome. If I need to pull up the music, I can. But it's such a wonderful exercise for this articulation practice. If you take 15 or 20 minutes a day and do this, I'm going to give you a brief little example of it. You choose only one key. So let's say we start with the C major, Then the next day you'll do A minor. The next day you'll do F major. The next day you'll do D minor. And just kind of go through. It's great to keep track also. If you have a little notebook, just write, today I did articulation in C major. Tomorrow we'll do A minor. That way you're not doing just the same keys every day. But the wonderful thing, and this was, I learned this from when the pandemic started, the very beginning of it. I work for Marina Piccinini and help her with some of her classes. And if any of you don't know of Marina, she is like the articulation goddess queen. Go hear her play her Paganini Caprices, and they're like absurd. You know? But we had a little WhatsApp group that she led that was based on this articulation exercise. So there was like 10 of us in the group, and we would all post our exercises. So here's how it goes. If you want me to send you guys here, actually I'm going to type my email in here right now. If you want me to send you the list of what these are later, I will. You can email me. etudeoftheweek@gmail.com. Just send me a little email, be like, hey, send me the articulations, please. Okay? But here's how it goes. Feel free to play along if you'd like to. If you know the Taffanel and Gobert number 4, we're going to do the C major one. So we start with Ha, right? So we go like this. So on and so forth through the whole exercise. Then you do ta, only ta. Right? So on and so forth. If you can play these with a metronome at a speed that feels like it's pushing you a little bit, but you're still comfortable, that is ideal. And write down that metronome marking. And then every day try to get it just a little bit faster, right? But the goal here is not as much speed as it is accuracy. So if you're going so fast that you can't play it accurately, go slower. That is always the rule in everything, okay? So we have ha, then we do ta, and then we're gonna do ka. So only kas, right? Oh, my hair is in the way. And the goal is for it to be very clear and to keep that support going too, right? Then we do taka on each note like this. Right? Then we do kata. And sometimes you'll notice this is where things start to get a little bit uneven. Kata, 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 right? Because the ka is always weaker than the ta. It's natural. Of course it is. We don't go around saying ka, 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 ka all the time, right? So that's why practicing the kas separately is important, and doing it in this order is important. Then we do taka, but this way. And then who can guess what's next? Kata, that way. Right? So it is tiring, and it's supposed to be, because you're exercising your tongue here. So if you do that, let's see, how many is it? Ka, ta, or no, ha, ta, ka, taka, kata, taka, kata. 7 ways. on one, and I cannot emphasize this enough, only do one key. If you go through 2, 3, 4, 5, heaven forbid, the entire Taffanel and Gobert exercise doing that, you will never want to play the flute again, and you'll blame me, and I'm not cool with it, so don't do that. Okay? Just one, but do that every day, and your articulation will be so much better. Like, seriously. And then, when you have things like this, oh God, where's my share? Oh, there it is, the big green button right in the middle. God dang. Okay. Then when you have things like this, you can also practice this the same way, right? Taka, taka, taka. Now we'll do it opposite. Wait. Ta, taka, taka, ta, kata, 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 kata. Right? I could start with a ka even. Ka, kata, 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 kata. So like this. And it messes with my brain because automatically your tongue wants to do a ta on the downbeat. It's like such a natural thing to want to do. So when you have to do it differently, your brain is just like, excuse me? This is crazy. And then you can also do something like this. Right? Like 2 notes on each one. You can mess around with it. But I think the whole point here is that we figure out what is the purpose of this etude and how is it making me better? Always, right? In number 5, it was pretty clear what we're trying to improve on here, right? Other ones aren't so clear. Like in this one here, when you look at number 4, it's like, okay, this could be a lot of things actually, right? Low register stuff, speed, bringing a melody out over the harmony, intervals, like there's a lot of different things that number 4 can be, which is also okay. Pick the thing that you want to work on the most and have that focus. I think that one of the things that so many of us do is we play through the etude without much of a focus, right? You just kind of play through it, see what happens. But if you have that focus and you really work on it, that's what makes us better as flutists and musicians and humans. Have a focus and a goal and, try to get it. So, does anyone have any thoughts or questions or comments, or does anyone else want to play? No?
Katie, this is Cheryl. And
Hey, Cheryl.
yes, and I am listening to what you're saying, and I unfortunately have my right leg raised today. I am recuperating from a broken ankle, and I will tell you all to play this without your feet on the ground. Really test your abdominal muscles.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. First of all, I'm sorry, Cheryl. I hope that you heal soon. That sounds awful. You poor
I
thing.
got it fixed. I just have to keep it raised.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's fixed. Thank God for modern medicine. But yeah, that is a great point. Yeah, if you don't have the grounding of your feet, it definitely works your abs in a different way, for sure. Right? So does whether you're sitting or you're standing. It makes a difference as well. Yep. So all of those things absolutely are so important to pay attention to. But I think that's why that ha exercise is great, because no matter what, whether you're sitting or standing or you don't have the use of your feet, poor Cheryl, I'm sorry.
My leg's working fine.
Yeah, good. It really makes sure that you're engaging from that place first.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's awesome.
And the air is really the key.
Yes, the air is always the key.
It's got to be there. The air has to be there no matter what. And the embouchure placement.
Yes. Absolutely. Totally. Cool. Anybody else? Otherwise, I'll try to play it, see what happens.
I just want to add, one thing
please.
that comes up when you're trying to get an even double tongue is you can often hear that the K is weaker. So, this K exercise helps you get a stronger, clearer K consonant. But when it's as strong as you can make it, how do you still make the double tongue even? Well, you can't make the K stronger, but you can make the T weaker.
Yep.
Right? And blend it and smooth it out.
Yes. I think the biggest point with that, Sean, is that just you have to listen. You know, it's one thing to do the exercises, right? But if you're just doing the exercise and you're not listening to yourself, you're not doing anything. We're always flexible, right? You're always listening, always making adjustments. And
That's
if
the
it's
huge upside of recording, right?
Yes,
And even
totally.
if you don't click post, at least click record so you can play back and hear what you did.
Yep.
Because our brain is too busy playing to listen sometimes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not like we don't have anything else to think about.
Right.
Breathing, notes, rhythm, articulation. What am I having for dinner? Why is my dog barking? No, but really though, it's so true, right? And I think another thing about that is when you record yourself or when you're listening to yourself, in whatever way that works, when you hear something that isn't quite right, you're like, it really sounds like my double tonguing is not even. Or, every time I play a middle E it cracks. Or my notes, playing short seems really difficult. I can only seem to play long. Or whatever it is, right? This is such a big deal in anything we play, whether it's this etude, a piece of music, a scale, whatever it is. The process needs to be, you play something, you have an awareness of what's going on, you're listening to yourself or you listen back to a recording, and you take note of things in a very detailed way. I so often hear people say, oh, well, I just sound bad. Oh, I didn't like it. Oh, I'm disappointed in myself. Oh, that was really hard. Oh, I wish I could play it better. And it's so personal, right? Because you're just like, oh, I'm trying so hard to play this metal tube and make it sound good. And then you listen back to yourself and it's not what you expect it to be, right? How many of us have experienced that? I do all of the time. And then it's discouraging. And then you're like, well, what's the point? And why have I put in all of these hours and spent this thousands of dollars on this instrument or lessons or whatever it is, right? When instead, it is so critical to approach your awareness and the way you listen to yourself with much more of a scientific, specific sort of mindset, because it's not personal. These are all just problems to be solved. And every problem that you find is actually an opportunity for you to improve, which is what we're all trying to do anyway. And I cannot get off of this soapbox ever because I think, so many of us avoid playing for other people, or even listening to yourself is really hard sometimes because it's just like, man, it is such a personal thing because it's such an expressive thing and it's such a part of us and it is a part of our voice and who we are, right? But as long as you know, you will always be improving. There is not a single flute player or musician on the planet who is perfect, who is not done practicing, who does not have things to fix. Not a single one. I promise. Not, Marina or James Galway or Jasmine Choi or Pahud or any of them. They all still practice this stuff, right? So when you listen back to your recording, it is critical that instead of just saying, oh, I don't like this or this sounds bad, what exactly? Like as specific as you can be, right? Seriously, like to the point of, I don't like the beginning of the E in the third measure, like whatever, or yeah, my articulation is really uneven in this way. And then even better if you can write them down while you're listening. Here's my list of the most specific issues that I have. Then you write, what are potential solutions to solve those problems, right? this is where we get to be creative. I think so often too, we've had teachers, or there are very specific ways that are like, this is the right way to solve this problem, and this is the only way to solve this problem, and if you don't do it this way, then you're wrong and you'll never get it right. I think that's total baloney. I'll say that. I won't use curse words, I guess. I'm being recorded. If you know me in real life, though, you know how I talk. But it's, it's just, if you can instead look at that problem and be like, I wonder if I try this, if it might help me solve that problem. And if you can approach something from a place of curiosity rather than judgment. If any of you watch Ted Lasso, it's like my favorite quote of all time. Be curious, not judgmental. That's where the real, true, honest improvement happens. Because when you're able to look at a problem and solve it yourself, then it really sticks, right? And if you have a problem that's like, you know what, I've tried this and this and this and this, my articulation is still not clear, my things are uneven, I still can't seem to play things fast, that's when you can find somebody that you admire who plays it the way that you want to play it and ask them to help you. Pay them for a lesson, whatever. But that's the whole point. So soapbox done. I think my whole thing is that we all have value and we are all here to improve, and we're all here to help each other improve and help ourselves improve. So don't ever feel like if you're playing something and you listen back and you don't like the way it sounds, that it's not possible to get better, because it always is, as long as you're willing to let go of some of the self-judgment. It's hard, but
Could I add one little thing to that?
Please, Sean, absolutely.
We don't have unlimited time and we don't have unlimited focus. So
Yes.
when you're listening back to all the little things that you don't like, prioritize them. What's the most distracting thing in that recording? If I can fix that, it'll get, better.
Yes.
And then work your way through the priority list if you have time.
Exactly. The other thing to that is choose small sections to work on. Don't find a problem and then try to play through the entire etude solving that problem. Choose 2 or 3 measures to do and repeat those 2 or 3 measures. Repetition is the key. And if you're repeating sections that are too long, your focus is going to be just
Gone. Yep.
out the window, right? Especially at this day and age, I feel like we all have the attention span of goldfish. So, also, a lot of times when you're practicing something, let's say you've chosen the, 4 or 5 measures, 2 or 3 measures, even better, that are challenging, that you're repeating, doing over and over and over again with a metronome. You're trying different articulations. You're checking in with your breath. You're seeing how your fingers are. You're doing all of these things. And then all of a sudden, it just seems to start getting worse, right? It's like, I swear 5 minutes ago, I was playing this so well, and now it's not working. Take a break. It is an actual thing that your brain needs space to process. So stop, walk away, go do something fun, go outside. My hammock is sitting outside right now, just like waiting for me to sit in it. Do something that just lets you clear it off and come back to it later. It's so important. Okay, I want to actually, Lena said this, has a really good suggestion actually for when you have double-tongued phrases. This kind of goes along the lines of using the ha stuff. This really helps with keeping your air support going through the whole phrase. And it's using flutter tonguing. How many of you have fun with flutter tonguing? How many of you cannot flutter tongue and it's like impossible for you? Yeah, Carly's like, me, I can't do it. Carly, I can't help you because I'm terrible at teaching flutter tonguing, so I'm sorry. No, but I actually have a really hard time flutter tonguing with the tip of my tongue. I have to do it with the back of my throat.
Me too. It's the only way I can do it. I cannot get in front of the tongue at all.
I think it's actually...
Can't roll it hard, can't do that. It just...
And I actually think it does help when you use that to be able to then come out of it and articulate something with your tongue. And I think it also helps the airstream move. So Carly, actually, I said I don't know how to teach it, but if you practice gargling, which is like really annoying and kind of gross and, you know, whatever. But when you're brushing your teeth at night, get a little mouthwash and just do a little and start to pay attention to what muscles are engaging when you gargle with liquid in there. And that kind of helps you just increase the awareness of what's going on. I cannot teach you how to use the tip of your tongue. I don't know how to do it, so it's not going to happen. But when you are doing this, it really is such a great exercise for things like this. So if we go through really helps to make sure, because the flutter tongue won't work if your air isn't moving. Same with singing and playing. Right? I didn't hit any of the right pitches. But that really also is a great check-in to make sure that your air is moving, right? Then eventually, oh, another good thing too is, let's say you're practicing, let's go on like the if you're practicing any of these and you're getting it and most of the measures are great, and you have a measure or two that's just like, man, I just cannot play this fast. Practice rhythms are wonderful things. These are all things to just kind of get your brain thinking about things in a different way. So if we switch the rhythms up and do something like or or whatever. Split them up in whatever ways you can. And if you do that 3 or 4 or 5 times, you'll be amazed at how when you go back to it, it just kind of works. Right? Boehm's the king also of doing these, like, you know, there are notes that deserve a little more attention. Like here, it's the first. You know? Yeah, makes it sound better. This is a fun one. And here too, like. Yeah, anyway. Anybody else have any comments or questions or other practice techniques or things that they have tried and worked, tried and has not worked?
The thing that helps sometimes is find the hard part and just memorize it.
Oh, yeah, totally. I'm playing in a recital tonight. We're doing a lot. It's a huge program, but it's going to be really fun. I'm playing Carmen Fantasy, and I've never been able to play the last fast movement well. I just kind of am like, wah! And so I've been working the last few days on memorizing that part, because then it's like you're already at the end of this super long, super exhausting piece. It's tons of stamina, and once you get to the end and it's all fast, it's just like, okay, yeah, there's no way my brain's going to be able to read this. So, but let's talk about memorization for a second, right? How many of you here like, oh, just memorize it, and you're like, that'll never happen, this is terrifying. I can't memorize things. Okay, how many of you feel really, really super comfortable with memorizing, like it's really natural for you and you can do it well?
Well,
No.
only if I like the tune. If I don't like the tune,
Yeah.
I have a hard time memorizing.
Totally.
But if I do like the tune, it's pretty easy to memorize it.
I think that's a very good point. It's very wise of you, honestly. So everybody's a little bit in between, it seems like. Nobody's like, absolutely not, memorization sucks, I'll never do it. And nobody's like, oh yeah, no problem, memorizing is easy, I got this, right? Which makes sense. There are many strategies on how to memorize things. Everybody's a little bit different. We all learn differently. We all process things differently. So I think it's really important to know yourself and know how you learn best. If you're an auditory learner or a visual learner or a kinesthetic learner or whatever it is, however you feel like things stick in your brain better. Mine is very much like touch. So I can memorize things if I like have a pencil and I'm just thinking of like, okay, da, 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 da. And then whatever note I don't know, I'll go and look back, or I'll be watching TV and just have my flute and just kind of be trying to do the fingers themselves. But I will say the first thing always is you have to know how it goes. You have to listen and 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 listen so that you can sing it back to yourself, right? Just like any of the songs on the radio that like you'll hear a song from when you were like in middle school and be able to sing every single word and you're like, how is that in my brain? I don't know. Our brains are actually incredible at holding on to memorizing musical things because there's so many parts of our brains that are engaged when we play music. So but again, and that's why, Ruth, I love that you said that. If I like the tune, it's easier to memorize, right? Because if you like the tune, chances are you'll listen to it more often. Chances are you probably have listened to it more often if you like it. And the chances are also that you'll be able to sing it. And then when you're trying to memorize it, if you do something wrong or not, right? One of my teachers says to memorize things, she has to write it all down. Like she will get staff paper and she will write it out with all of the dynamics, all of the correct articulations. And she says, it is not memorized until I do this. I will tell you, I have never done that and I never will because that sounds awful to me. I don't want to do it. But there's a good point there, right? Like, if you really want to be particular about having something memorized and making sure that you have all the correct things, that's one way. No thanks. Let's see. Katy, good name, Katy. Katy says, as an exercise, I hold my flute down and just watch my fingers throughout the throughout the passage without blowing into my flute. Yes, absolutely. Another one is that while I'm actually playing and blowing into my flute, I imagine myself watching my fingers from above. Another one is that I imagine that I'm sitting next to myself and trying to imagine what the person next to me hears. Katy, I love all of these. There's so much scientific evidence about visualization and how effective it actually is, So I know a lot of you who maybe have performance anxiety or have, done a little bit of work on thinking about that. Picturing yourself in the performance, running through it in your head. These things are actually very, 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 very helpful. Same when it comes to memorizing. You don't actually have to play a note to memorize a song. A lot of people do it on an airplane or something, My dad's a golf pro and has his own golf school. We talk about that a lot. So much of the golfer's practice is visualization. So yeah, I'll be like hanging out with my people at the end of the day, my dog sitting next to me. Same, I kind of sit cross-legged, get comfy, whatever. Prop your flute up, just kind of watch them. And you notice a lot. You can do this with your scales, and if you tilt your head joint so that it's close to your ear, you can actually hear what you're doing. Right? This is a really good way of checking in with your hand position, checking in with your fingers and which fingers are coming up too quick, which ones are not. So, I love watching TV and practicing flute. It's great. It's a really good time. That's awesome. Very, very cool. So we are getting close to the end. If anyone else has any other questions or comments or thoughts, I sent you my email. Feel free to email me anytime or message me on Facebook anytime. I'm such a nerd and I love talking about all of this stuff with all of you. So I hopefully we'll have time to record this one because I really love it before Monday. I want to make a couple of points and then I'm going to give you the Flute World discount code before I forget. one thing is, if you are not a member of Etude of the Week, become a member of Etude of the Week. It's the best. I think some of you are new. I know a lot of people have joined recently. I also want to say, I know that so many of you are in it and have been in it forever. It's such an open, safe place. So if you haven't posted any of the Boehm Caprices and you'd like to, it's not too late. You can absolutely go back, post number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. We just ask that you don't post early for the next upcoming ones. But you are allowed to post a section of something. You are allowed to post just the way that you practice something. It does not have to be a complete finished, polished product, because the point of Etude of the Week is that we're all here to kind of learn from each other and improve and be nice to each other, because there's plenty of people in the world that are not that, but we're not going to be that way there. So the other thing that I wanted to say, I don't know. So never mind. If it comes to me, then I'll post about it. So the Flute World discount code for 20% off. Da 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 da. Drum roll, please, while I find it. Okay, so this is for 20% off sheet music and Valentino Piccolo swabs. And it is Piccolo 2023. Wow, look at that. Even though this class didn't have anything to do with piccolo, but it was for a class earlier too. So this is just for you guys. Don't share it with anybody else. It's really just for the Flute World Collective people. But yeah, you can go if you have not purchased. The Boehm Caprices are available for free if you look them up. Just type in Boehm Flute Caprices. You can download them from IMSLP. But if you'd like to have a hard copy, this is a great thing to use a discount code for. Go ahead and
Thank you, Kathy.
Juan, good to see you, man. Katy,
you
if you go to Facebook and just type in Etude of the Week, you'll find it. It's like it pops up. Actually, I might have a link here. Hold on. Actually, no, I don't, because I'm logged out of
Is the
Facebook.
link off of etudeoftheweek.com?
No, because
a place to put one.
Yeah, but I killed that website and I'm redoing it right now. So.
Okay.
It turns out I was paying for like 3 different websites, and I'm just now working on combining them all together instead of paying for 3 separate websites.
That's no fun.
So yeah, but yes, Etude number 7 is next, Jessica. That will start on Monday. Yeah, so Katy, if you can't find Etude of the Week on Facebook, just email me and I'll send you the link later. But my computer is being all stupid about security right now.
Katie,
Have fun
what's
playing
the-
Carmen. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, right. What, Ruth?
What's the schedule for Study Buddy? I keep finding out about it right before it
Oh,
happens.
yeah, great question. I have been doing it. My schedule has been so nuts this last couple of months that I've been doing it at different days and times every week.
Okay.
But this week I'm going to do it on because I didn't do one for number 6, so we'll do the one for number 7 on Monday. Like Monday around noon Eastern time is when we'll do it. I haven't posted about it yet, but I'll post it right after this.
But you are going to do it other days. Because that happens to be
Yeah.
a day I'm in the office. But other days I'm not.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'll do it. I'll maybe post a couple of them and see which one people sign up for.
Okay,
I'll
that'll
do
be
it that
good.
way. Yeah,
That'll be good.
totally. Great, everybody. Well, thank you all so much for being here. Oh, Katy, you don't have a Facebook. Good for you. That's probably better because Facebook is lame. But it's great for Etude of the Week. That's all. But Katy, yeah, please do email me and I will make sure that you get all the information about things. I'm trying to actually be better about sending emails to people. Whatever. Cool.
Good luck
You
with
all
your
are so-
concert tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good luck
thank
with your
you, Juan.
concert
Thank you
tonight.
so
Yeah, hope
much.
to make it one day.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, me too. That would be super fun.
Yeah.
Someday we'll try to maybe do it live or something, but not today. I don't want to worry about that on top of playing all this other stuff. We're playing, it's called A Night at the Opera, and I'm playing Carmen Fantasy with my friend Julie on piano. And then we're doing the Doppler Rigoletto for two flutes and piano, which is really fun. And then we're gonna there's a Mozart arrangement of Mozart Magic Flute things for two flutes. So we're gonna do that. And then we're doing some Gilbert and Sullivan stuff. And then we have a singer who's doing a little bit of Carmen stuff too. It's gonna be really fun. We have a bunch of accessories. I have a flute mustache for Gilbert and Sullivan and a fan. And we're trying to make it like people remember that it's fun to go listen to concerts. You don't have to actually like be super serious all the time. So, oh yeah, cool. Well, thank you everyone again. And I will be posting about the Etude of the Week Study Buddy session, which is basically like this with a little bit more just straight focus on the specific etudes and getting them ready to practice and post for the week. So we'll be doing number 7. I'll check my schedule and see when else we'll do it, but yeah. Awesome. You're the best, everybody.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day. We'll see you
Bye-bye.
soon.
Thank you, Katie. Bye-bye.